Let's dive into the storm brewing around Hollywood's golden giant, Tyler Perry. Yes, that Tyler Perry, the billionaire mastermind behind the Madea franchise, the man who built a cinematic empire brick by brick, rising from humble beginnings to industry domination. But today, the spotlight isn't shining on his next big film. It's laser focused on a bombshell $260 million lawsuit that's shaken his empire to its core. And no, this isn't just about the money. This lawsuit is laced with allegations of manipulation, emotional control, and disturbing power dynamics, claims that now brush up against even the British royal family. At the center of it all, actor Derek Dixon, known for his roles in Perry's productions like Ruthless and The Oval. And he's not staying silent. According to court documents, Dixon accuses Perry of creating what he calls a toxic, abusive relationship under the guise of professional mentorship. He alleges Perry exploited his immense influence in the entertainment world, trading career opportunities for loyalty in a relationship riddled with control and coercion. It all reportedly began back in 2019 at a studio gathering. Phone numbers were exchanged, promises made, roles offered. But what seemed like a breakthrough soon spiraled into what Dixon describes as a manipulative quid pro quo setup. He claims the roles came with strings attached, and those strings were tightly held by Perry. What's more chilling, Dixon's character Dale in The Oval was brutally gunned down at the end of season 1. And according to the lawsuit, that wasn't just a dramatic storyline twist, it was a message, a warning. Cooperate or disappear, both on screen and in your career. It may sound like the plot of a dark drama, but this time, it's not fiction, and Hollywood is paying close attention. Tyler Perry's team is firing back, hard. They've dismissed the lawsuit as nothing more than a fabricated shakedown. His attorney insists Perry won't be bullied, claiming the accusations are complete fiction. But legal outcome or not, the damage is already done. The controversy is peeling back layers on one critical question. How much control is too much in Hollywood? Because let's be honest, Tyler Perry isn't just a filmmaker, he is the studio. He writes, directs, produces, and often stars in his own work. That level of dominance is rare, and in some cases, revolutionary. But in the wrong hands, that much creative power can blur lines between brilliance and abuse. And just when you think the story couldn't get messier, enter Meghan Markle. Now you're probably asking, what does Meghan have to do with any of this? Well, here's the twist. Tyler Perry is the godfather of Meghan and Prince Harry's daughter, Lilibet. That's not a casual connection. That's inner circle, family-level trust. Remember, when Meghan and Harry fled the UK in the middle of their royal fallout, it was Perry who welcomed them with open arms. He gave them his home, offered security, privacy, and according to Meghan, became a major emotional support during one of the darkest chapters in their lives. Now that same godfather is being accused of emotional manipulation, retaliation, and career sabotage. And critics aren't ignoring the connection. In fact, many are now questioning Meghan's judgment. Why choose Perry as a guardian figure for your child? In the world of royalty, even the smallest scandal becomes global news. And this is a PR nightmare unfolding in real time. Sources close to the Sussex camp say Harry is far from thrilled. Allegedly, he's grown increasingly uncomfortable with how Meghan has handled their Hollywood image, especially their inner circle ties. And now, with Perry's name plastered across headlines, whispers are growing louder about whether he should remain Lilibet's godfather. It's that serious. Perry's creative control has always been a double-edged sword. On one hand, he built a billion-dollar empire by refusing to play by Hollywood's rules. No gatekeepers, no middlemen, just his vision, his name, his brand. But with that kind of unchecked power, where's the line? Derek Dixon's claims raise serious concerns. He says Perry allegedly dangled roles like bait, implying that if Dixon rejected certain advances, his character would be axed. If he played along, his career stayed alive. That's not just unethical, it's terrifying. Imagine being handed your big break, only to realize your fate depends not on talent, but on pleasing someone behind the scenes. That's not just a toxic workplace, that's a systemic problem Hollywood keeps trying to bury. But not this time. Let's be real. Derek Dixon's story, whether it holds up in court or not, fits a pattern Hollywood has seen far too often. He describes his time working on Perry's set as a psychological game of tug-of-war, laced with veiled threats and unspoken expectations. Every move, he says, was shaped by fear, and when he allegedly pushed back, His character Dale was riddled with bullets, 4 of them. Coincidence? That's for the legal system to figure out. But in the court of public opinion, the fallout is already massive, and it's not stopping at Hollywood's doorstep. Meghan Markle is once again under the spotlight, dragged into the storm through her deeply personal ties to Tyler Perry. Remember, he wasn't just a celebrity ally, he was their lifeline. When Meghan and Harry turned their backs on royal life, it was Perry who stepped in. He offered them a secure home, round-the-clock protection, and emotional refuge when the British tabloids were going for blood. That kind of unwavering loyalty made him more than a friend. He became family. So now that Perry's name is tangled in explosive allegations, the spotlight is bouncing back on Meghan and Harry. Hard. Critics are questioning Meghan's inner circle. Why does she seem drawn to powerful figures with complicated reputations? With Perry now facing serious claims, his connection to the royal couple has become a PR nightmare. And according to reports, Prince Harry is growing increasingly uneasy with the Hollywood orbit Meghan is building around them. Let's not forget, Harry didn't come from this world. He was raised on tradition, royal protocol, and a strict separation from celebrity culture. Now he finds himself wrapped in a web of scandals, lawsuits, and public scrutiny, with his children caught in the middle. Insiders whisper that Harry might even be reconsidering Perry's role as godfather to their daughter, Lilibet. If that's true, it speaks volumes. Choosing a godparent isn't just a formality, it's a symbolic act of trust. To reverse that decision, that signals something deeply broken behind closed doors. But can you blame them? When your family's reputation is pulled into controversy because of someone else's alleged actions, protecting your inner circle becomes survival. And for Meghan, it's yet another round of scrutiny. Her critics say she forms alliances too quickly, seduced by influence and status without truly understanding the people behind the power. To them, it looks like strategic networking, not genuine loyalty. And when those connections go sideways, the fallout hits her and Harry, where it hurts most, their credibility. All of this leads to a bigger, more unsettling question. Does Meghan truly vet the people she lets in, or is she chasing opportunity at any cost? With the Sussex brand already treading on thin ice, this latest wave of headlines has only intensified the pressure. And while the lawsuit is technically about Perry and Dixon, the global conversation has turned its focus to Meghan and Harry's judgment, their alliances, and the future of their fractured image. Already walking a tightrope between Hollywood and the royal family, Prince Harry now finds himself more isolated than ever. His frustration, insiders say, has been simmering quietly for months, and this latest scandal is pushing him to the edge. He's stuck in a world he never truly chose, one full of brand negotiations, media spin, and behind-the-scenes chaos. A far cry from the structured traditions of royal life he once knew. While Harry has publicly stood by Meghan, offering united fronts and carefully crafted statements, whispers behind palace gates and Hollywood walls suggest a different story in private. He's reportedly uncomfortable, not just with the Perry allegations, but with the broader pattern of controversies that seem to keep following them, whether they invited them or not. The dream of raising their children in California was supposed to be about freedom. Freedom from royal expectations, freedom from the ruthless tabloids, freedom from the media frenzy that haunted his late mother. But now, every new alliance Meghan forges seems to bring a different kind of pressure. The spotlight they escaped in the UK has only been replaced by another one, brighter, colder, and far more unforgiving. When your child's godfather becomes the central figure in a $260 million lawsuit involving allegations of coercion and abuse, the spotlight becomes a searchlight. It's not just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. And this isn't being seen as an isolated misstep anymore. Meghan's critics argue that it reflects a larger pattern, a string of risky alignments with high-profile figures who eventually spiral into controversy. They point to the explosive Oprah interview, the Spotify deal that fizzled out, the Netflix content that many found overproduced and inauthentic, and now, the shadow of Tyler Perry's legal troubles. The narrative is changing again. For a woman trying to rebuild her public image around empowerment, elegance, and modern motherhood, the cracks are beginning to show. Then there's Meghan's bold push to re-enter the social media world. A fresh Instagram rollout, lifestyle partnerships brewing, a personal brand clearly being polished for a major relaunch. But behind the scenes, Harry's not on board. Sources say he's firmly against exposing their children online or turning them into marketing tools for brand growth. After all, wasn't privacy the reason they left in the first place? Yet Meghan, ever the strategist, seems determined to double down on visibility, on building her platform, on growing her audience, and that's creating serious tension, not just with the public, but inside their own home. At the center of it all is a fragile family dynamic, stretched between two worlds, one rooted in royalty, the other chasing relevance. At the heart of it all lies a fundamental disconnect, one that's becoming harder to ignore. Meghan is focused on building a brand, playing the American fame game on her terms. Bold moves, headline-making partnerships, and strategic alliances with the power players of Hollywood. But Harry, he was raised in an entirely different world. To him, family image is sacred, not something to be leveraged. Reputation isn't a commodity, it's legacy. So when his daughter's godfather is suddenly linked to disturbing abuse allegations, it hits far deeper than a PR crisis. This is about dignity, shame, and preserving the fragile foundation they've worked so hard to protect behind closed doors. And according to those close to the couple, the tension is rising. Reports say Harry's feeling pushed aside, his voice increasingly lost in the noise of Meghan's fast-moving media empire. Others whisper that he's quietly looking back to the UK, exploring ways to rebuild ties with the royal family, maybe even resume select public duties in the future. A soft return, a second chance. Whatever the real story, one truth is clear. This isn't the fairy tale ending they envisioned when they left Buckingham Palace behind. What began as a Hollywood scandal has turned into something much deeper, a raw reflection of everything unraveling beneath the surface. Because this isn't just about Tyler Perry or Derek Dixon anymore. It's about power, trust, loyalty. It's about the consequences of every choice when you're living under a global spotlight. For Harry and Meghan, the path forward looks more complicated than ever. Every move they make is dissected. Every headline adds another crack. And with each new twist, the line between their private sanctuary and the public stage grows thinner. In the end, the lawsuit is just the spark. The real story is what it reveals, about who they've become and what they're still fighting to hold on to. Whose side are you on? Loyalty or legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.